All right, so we want to do question number 6 on this part to finish off all of the questions. You'll notice that there's got a pocket that is only part of the way in on this guy and then all the way down to the back on this side. It's kind of hard to tell from this picture here, but that's what you have. So I'm going to back it up a little bit and show you how to do it. First thing we want to do is right click on normal to, and we're going to go to sketch. I'm going to put a point, and you'll see why in a second. I'm going to put a point right there, and we are sketching on top of this surface. What that allows me to do is now go ahead and do offset entities. Now, offset entities, I'm going to use it to create an inside copy of this outline. So first of all, it's going to be 1 millimeter, as you can see from the instructions here. It says 1 millimeter typical all the way around. I'm going to click reverse, and notice what happens when I select my line. So once it turns orange, I can go ahead and select it, and make sure that you do all of the lines all the way across. Okay, and then once we click OK, we have a sketch that we can use to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and features, extrude cut. Now, how deep am I going to go? Well, if you notice here, it's supposed to be 1 millimeter away from this, the edge of this part. So I'm going to go, instead of just blind, I'm going to go offset from surface, and it is going to be 1 millimeter away from this surface right there. And then I'm going to click OK, and we have our cut. All right, so this is the first part. Now, how do I go about doing the second part? Second part's a little bit tougher. I'm going to go ahead and go back to normal 2, and it's tougher because it uses this circle as a reference, right? So we had that circle on one of our previous sketches, so that's it right there. And I'm going to go on here and just to verify, where is it? We know that the center is along this edge, which I'm going to use. And then I want to find out, well, how far is the center from maybe this point? And 14.99, I'm going to assume that it is 15, really. Okay, so we know that also that the circle is 41 millimeters in radius, so I'm going to exit that out. What I want to do is I want to recreate, I want to use that circle again, right? So a couple of ways that I can do this whole thing. So I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to put in a center line. Go from here to here to help me kind of locate where that circle is supposed to be. And we know that circle is somewhere in here, and I'm going to draw that. The radius we know is 41, but I want that to be a little bit bigger because I want it to be inside of this, right? And you'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to make that 42. Okay, that's 42. And now I want to position that circle. We originally said that I wanted it to be 15 away from that. So it's 15 away from that, and that gives us our location for the circle. All right, cool. So click OK. We're still within the sketch, so don't go anywhere. And I'm going to put in a point right there because this is where it kind of crosses this other line, right? So I'm going to put that point there, and then I'm going to put another point right here. Never mind the bell. Put another point right there. So after we've got our 2 points, then we can go ahead and trace out the remainder of our cutout. And this is going to be right along the inside edge of this part over here. On this last one, it is technically not 100% of an arc because it's got this little tiny piece. So I'll go ahead and put in a tiny little straight piece right up until there. And then I can do my 3-point arc. Go from this point to this point and select that. All right, so now I've got to get rid of this big circle. I'm going to go to Trim Entities. Make sure you're on Power Trim and click and drag across, and we've got ourselves our shape right here. So now we can use this to cut in. Let's go back to Features and Extrude Cut. And we said we wanted to go, I believe, all the way into this guy. So it is going to be up to Surface. And we go here and select. And we got what it looks like, what it's supposed to be, right? And let me just bring up on the instructions to double check. It looks like we're just supposed to go all the way up to that edge. All right, so now let's check our mass properties. We'll evaluate mass properties, and I'm 425. And according to this, we're probably going to be a little bit less, I think. We're 425, this is supposed to be 432.5. So if I go 425 divided by 432 is equal to, I'm at about 1.5%. So there was something that I could have done just a little bit different to get me exactly on it, but otherwise it is definitely good enough to get the correct answer on our exam. All right, good luck.